Warning! Overly exaggerated TPR and tone of voice coming right up. Ni hao, welcome to Acadsoc. Can you hear me? Yes or no? Can you see me? Yes or no? Good. Very good. What was that, teachers? Did I seem like a sincere teacher to you? Imagine you're maybe a toddler or a school age child and your teacher's like that. How would you feel? Would you feel comfortable or would you feel like, what is she doing? So, teachers, I'm going to share with you why you have to stop overly exaggerating your TPR and your tone of voice. Well, the key word there is overly. Overly exaggerating. You're already exaggerating and you're even exaggerating it. So I'm going to make you or convince you rather why you should not overly exaggerate your gestures, your TPR, and your tone of voice whenever you are teaching your students. And of course, we're also going to be showing a sample class as to how to properly and effectively do TPR whenever you are teaching absolute beginners. And by the way, teachers, if you'd like to be an ESL teacher here in Acadsoc, don't forget to check out the description box. Click the link to apply and get started in your career as an ESL teacher. So let's get started with this video. Reason number one, it's energy draining. Teachers, you do know that Teacha Karen is pro tutor. I'm pro teachers. I don't want tutors, overly exhausting themselves for this job. You also have to think of yourselves. Imagine you're going to be working 8, 9, 10 hours per day, or for others, 12 or even 15 hours. And you are consuming the same amount of energy each and every time you have a class. That's totally not realistic. And if it is realistic, that you can really do that for like 10 hours, 12 hours every single day, are you paid enough to do that? Well, we're not paid to be overly exaggerated. We are paid to be good teachers, right? You are paid to teach English and do it really well, but you're not paid to overly exhaust your body just to be able to teach. So imagine, teachers, you're doing this in every class. Can you hear me? What's your name? My name is Teacher Karen. What's your name? It's a cat. Imagine, teachers, the exhaustion. I think you'll be easily burnt out if you do that in every class. Therefore, as a teacher who's going to be doing this as a long term job, you have to learn how to conserve energy. Use your energy wisely. Don't drain yourself. Because, yes, you could like drain all of your energy in class number one, but what about class number two until class number 10, or class number two until class number 20? Right? Are you going to compromise the other classes just because you really overly exaggerated your TPR? And don't get me wrong, teachers, we are instructed to exaggerate our TPR, especially when we are teaching absolute beginners, like they totally don't understand English. But exaggerating doesn't mean overly exhausting yourselves. Let me give you an example, teachers. Can you see Teacher Karen? 你可以看到我吗? Yes or no? Yes, that's good. My name is Teacher Karen. 我叫 Karen 老师. I'm Teacher Karen. What's your name? 你叫什么名字? Now let me show you the overly exaggerated part. Can you see me? Can you see me? 你可以看到我吗? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. My name is Teacher Karen. 我叫 Karen 老师. Karen. What's your name? 你叫什么名字? What's your name?
Let me just give you one more example because I just can't stand it. So some teachers do it this way. Hello, my name is teacher Karen. My question is, teacher, why are you in slow motion? Why are you in slow motion? You could make your pacing slower, but not too slow. You could say, "Hello, my name is Teacher Karen." 我叫 Karen 老师. As you can see, I combined English and Chinese because that way I could really make the student understand what I'm trying to say even though they're absolute beginners. Don't be like machines or robots where you speak this way and every gesture is so overly exaggerated. Because it will take away, the human aspect of our job. You are human beings, teachers, not machines, not puppets. You are a good teacher. Don't forget that.
In relation to the previous example, reason number two, you are teaching the wrong intonation. We do know that in English we have two intonations, the rising intonation and the falling intonation. We usually use the rising intonation when we are enumerating something or when we're asking questions answerable by yes or no. We use the falling intonation, let's say, when it's a declarative sentence, we're sharing information, or when we are asking open ended questions. So the thing is, if you are using a sing-song intonation or a totally, rising intonation all throughout your sentences, then you will be teaching the wrong sentence intonation or the wrong overall intonation, right? So it's important that whenever you're asking them questions, you should follow the correct intonation. How are you? How are you? How are you? Instead of saying, how are you? How are you? You could also ask, what's your name? What's your name? 你叫什么名字? Instead of saying, what's your name? What's your name? You see, we are using incorrect intonation there. Or let's say, it's a cat. It's a cat. But you said, it's a cat. It's a cat. Once again, wrong intonation, my friend. So make sure that when you are teaching your students, your vocal cords should be relaxed. Stop overly exaggerating your tone of voice and the pitch of your voice because that will be totally exhausting. And my, teacher, you will be at risk for losing your voice. So you got to take care of this because this is where the money is. So your voice modulation should be just like this. You shouldn't be using, high pitch or, too low when you are speaking. It should just be your normal speaking voice. You could make it a little higher when you are teaching children, but not too high. Reason number three, you are teaching the incorrect sentence stress. When you read about sentence stress, it's all about, giving emphasis on words that carry meaning in a sentence. These are usually the nouns, the verbs, adverbs, the adjectives, and the other words, just like linking verbs or prepositions, articles, we don't really give them much emphasis. So if you are overly exaggerating your tone of voice and you are giving emphasis to each and every word in the sentence, then you are teaching the incorrect sentence stress to your students. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're talking about fruits. It's a banana, just like how I said it. It's a banana. It's a banana. The word there that carries meaning would be the word banana. But if you teach them this way, it's a banana. It's a banana. Then that's going to be the same sentence stress or sentence intonation of your students. And that's going to be a big no no. Imagine they're going to be using that intonation whenever they're speaking English, which is completely wrong. Especially for us Filipinos, that's how maybe our parents taught us. Maybe for me, that's how my mom taught me. That's how my English teachers taught me when I was young. It's a banana. It's an apple. It's a cherry. But that's the wrong intonation. Again, you just have to put the word stress on the nouns, the words that carry meaning. Reason number four, it will take away your sincerity. Teachers, we are second parents of our students. Our classroom should feel like home. For our adult students, we should be like a friend to them, not an authoritarian figure, but a friend. And whenever you overly exaggerate to the point that your teaching style seems too theatrical already, as if you're acting, it takes away your sincerity. Imagine you're giving your student an applause. Very good. Good job. Good. Excellent. You see, it takes away the sincerity, you being candid whenever you give your applause or your rewards to your students versus saying, oh, good job. Very good. You did great. You see the difference, teachers? And sometimes the sad thing is, we even forget to do eye contact. We're too preoccupied by exaggerating our gestures that we fail to look at the camera and we say, very good. Perfect. Wonderful. High five. You see? You seem like a robot or a machine. You're like a pleasant, annoying machine. So don't forget to be a real person. Be a friend, be a second parent, be a sincere teacher. And lastly, it can get annoying. So, yeah, if your student is like 2, 3, 4 years old, 5 years old tops, when you exaggerate your TPR, that's okay with them. It's like they're watching Barney, they're watching Backyardigans, Into the Thick of It. It's like they're watching those cartoons. Sorry, back in the day we had Barney, not Backyardigans. Did I say it right? But anyway, moving on. You have to limit your TPR, especially when you are teaching intermediate learners, let's say children ages 8 to 12 years old, adults especially. You have to customize your TPR. That's going to be fit to your student's personality, that's going to be fit to your student's age, that's going to be fit to your student's language proficiency. There was this time when my student told me, "Why are you talking to me like I'm a kid?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I think I was overly exaggerating my TPR." So, that was like a big zzz for me. So, you have to make sure that you customize your approach depending on your student. You have to use TPR differently when you're teaching adults versus let's say you're teaching teenagers versus teaching young children. So, you always have to customize and adapt. So, there you have it, teachers. I hope this has been an eye opener for you guys not to overly exaggerate your TPR because you also have to think about yourself. You have to conserve your energy, you have to take good care of your voice, and at the same time, you have to make sure that what you are teaching the student is the correct way of saying things, right? The correct pronunciation, intonation, and word stress, sentence stress, and everything else. So, please do stay tuned for part two because on the next video, I'll be sharing with you, an actual sample of my class where I was doing TPR. I was actually pretty much exaggerating TPR, but I was still sincere. I was not overly doing it, and I didn't become exhausted after class. So please stay tuned for part two. And for now, please do give this video a thumbs up if you like this content, and comment below if you have any questions or video requests. Subscribe to my channel, Teacha Karen, and hit the bell icon to get notified for new video uploads. I'm going to see you real soon and be a blessing to the people around you. Bye bye.